Now, we argue that you want to play and do scientific research. And I say, okay, let's consider that. What's the price of admission and who's going to pay? If UFOs are going to be involved in science, you're going to have to compete. And you're going to have to compete on equal footing. It is a very tough game. It is very expensive. And I use here, here's an example. The Large Hadron Collider, there's about $13 billion, and all they're looking for is the God particle, supposedly the Bose-Higgs. About 2 months ago, we just found out that we have pentaquarks that are even smaller than the Higgs boson. But you're willing to spend these huge amounts of money to understand what they call the standard model or theory of almost everything. What's the cost of space research? By the way, do you know that the cost per person per day, $7.5 million per person per day to keep somebody on the ISS? Here's the kind of the expenses that are doing. We do that. Here's one we talk about rare diseases, cancer funding. And one of the things I'm going to argue in just about a minute, I will argue that the UFO and these phenomena are at least as complex as cancer. And yet you look at where we're at on AIDS and cancer, and it just pales by construction. They have ventured afield, and one of the things you find used to be the Golden Fleece Award, but people they were looking at meditation, trying to understand consciousness, and it gets blasted as a complete waste. The point here is, if you're going to study UFOs, it's a zero-sum game. And you're going to have to go up against things like NIH, rare diseases, and make the case that's at least equal important. So what is it, if you're going to fund UFO studies with the government, what is it you're not going to fund? Because you're going to have to defund something to do it. And again, these are very, very tough games. We've been at war for more than a decade now. We talked about the technology that ET may have provided. You go, well, okay, where is it? If you look at where we're at, you got the F-35, about the most advanced aircraft that we have at the moment. If you're following the news, it ain't working very well. We spent a lot of work encountering explosive devices. And the point is that all of these technologies that you see, IED sensors and new destroyer, don't see anything that looks to me like it's ET inspired. Now, some of the advances that have happened that are good is we've got a lot of things in prosthetics and robotics that are moving quite well. DoD funding, when you look at the future, you look at ARPA thing, what does their future technology look like? Again, you don't see it looking like ET kinds of stuff. So who's funding this? Again, this is mostly rich guys, individuals who have the amount of money that's necessary to fund it. What you don't find is advanced ET technology.